Welcome to the Harmony and Healing Project, where we bring you strategies and tools that teenagers and their parents can use to improve their mental health, along with powerful, emotive music that will also enhance and improve your mental health. So, join in, share with the teenager, and enjoy. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Harmony and Healing Project. Wow, it's been a long month, I'm sure. Now, this episode, I'm going to start off with my new song called Lifeline. Now, Lifeline came about or was inspired by a, a really powerful experience that I had at work where I saw someone going through the effects of a close family member having a mental health difficulty, and he actually thought he was going to lose her. And I had to experience him deal with that. I had to see like it, the impact that that had on me, like actually just watching him try to hold it all together and fail. It just really left an impact on me. I remember leaving work that day and realizing again how much people were struggling, and I just wonder if he'd been telling people or trying to communicate how bad things were with other people, and they were not able to recognize it, or they did not know how to help him. Um, and the whole encounter, that whole experience just left me really shaken. And I just wanted to create something that will remind people that the person next to you, who you see every day, your colleagues, your friends, may be going through something really difficult. So when you take a moment to ask, how are you doing? Can we mean it? Can we actually wait for their response and see that they really mean it when they say, I'm doing okay? Can we take a minute and really check in with them, genuinely check in with them and offer help? Because, they may be going through something and you may be in place to help them through it. But then the next time it may be you who may be going through something and wishing that there was someone around you who could recognize the pain you were going through and walk you through it. So I really hope this song reminds you that it's okay to ask for help, and it's also okay to offer help, regardless of what it looks like. It might just be sitting down with them and holding their hands, calling, texting, checking in, shopping for them, whatever it is. I hope this song inspires you to be a lifeline to someone that needs it. And then after that, we're going to listen to my dear friend Paul Becks, and we're going to talk about all things breath work, meditation, um, mindfulness, checking in with yourself, connecting with yourself. That is so powerful. So I hope this inspires you. Um, this is a long one. I think they're all long videos. I'm gonna chop them into smaller bits at some point, so maybe the teenagers can actually just take them in chunk sizes. But um, share this, would you? Would you share this with someone that you know will benefit from it? They're going to be exercises. If you're driving, don't do them, but find somewhere quiet later on and do the exercises. I promise you it'll be worth it. Okay, so here is the song and then the interview. And thank you so much for watching. Take care. Enjoy.
Took a call that changed everything. Felt my world collapsing all around me. Gotta keep it all together. Put my brave face on. See this little hand holding mine as he looks up to my eyes and smiling. But inside I'm crying. Like I'm drowning. Someone throw me a lifeline. Don't know how much longer I can sustain this. Someone throw me a lifeline. The waves are crashing over me. The pressure's weighing down on me. I'm crying now. Someone throw me a lifeline. If I promise you I'll ask for help, will you promise that you'll do the same? Gotta be my brother's keeper. You can count on me. 'Cause God put you in my life. 'Cause we need each other to survive. Gotta take the focus off me and love the ones around me. Feels like I'm drowning. Someone throw me a lifeline. Don't know how much longer I can sustain this. Someone throw me a lifeline. The waves are crashing over me. The pressure's weighing down on me. I'm crying now. Someone throw me a lifeline. Tell me it'll be alright. You get through this too shall pass. Take my hands. Say a prayer for me. Tell me it'll be alright. You get through this too shall pass. Take on me. Walk with me. Feels like I'm drowning. Someone throw me a lifeline. Don't know how much longer I can sustain this. Someone throw me a lifeline. The waves are crashing over me. The pressure's weighing down on me. I'm crying now. Someone throw me a lifeline. Throw me a lifeline.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Harmony Healing Project, where we bring you mental health skills for teenagers. Today, I have with me Paul Beck, an amazing speaker, a coach who I've worked with for a while now, and an all around inspiring man who I think will have a lot of value to share with us today. So, Paul, thank you so much for being here. Do you
Thank
want
you
to
for
first
inviting
of
me. Thank you
all,
for the kind introduction.
do you want to introduce yourself and tell us about you and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So, I guess I've been through a few careers in my time, and I won't take up the whole podcast to talk about it. But originally, when I was about 20, I went onto the cruise ships and I did 18 years at sea. Phenomenal. Got to travel the world, meet lots of different people. So that was a big impression and changed my life dramatically. Then I moved into television, did 18 years in TV, and then for the last 13 years, I've been working as 14 years now, another year slipped by, as a coach. And really, that's since I was about 20, 22, I really got into personal development and it changed my life dramatically. So it's always been there, always been something that I've been interested in. But the last 14 years, it really took over. And I wanted to share more and more and more because I realized that all the stuff I've been learning that had helped me become a success in my own mind at least, and live the life that I want, happily married, 4 beautiful kids, etc., etc. I wanted to be able to share some of those things with people and help other people find not just success. That's great. If you feel successful, that's wonderful. But the other key word is fulfillment. And I think that's where a lot of
Mm,
people miss out. So they might make lots of money, but they're still miserable. We hear about movie stars, pop stars, that they got everything in everyone else's mind, but they're still unhappy. And so
yes.
fulfillment is a
Yes.
key word.
Mm, yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so if you're joining us again and you're wondering what all this is about, let me give you a little bit of a behind the scenes or the story behind the podcast. So I came up with this term, harmony and healing, because it brings together my two main interests as a pediatrician and a singer songwriter. And I suppose over the last couple of years, it's been more and more evident the mental health crisis that we are seeing in the UK amongst teenagers, even children, right? Um, and I've just seen the this feeling of powerlessness because honestly, sometimes it feels like we are fighting a losing battle. um we see kids just come in, go home, and come back in with the same problem over and over again, ranging from overdose to self-harm to suicidal ideations, you know and some of them are just really struggling. So I decided to do a little bit more than what I do at work and just take it out into the community and start to talk about mental health skills that teenagers can start to learn. Now, for two reasons, okay? To improve their mental health, but also to reduce medicalization, hospital presentations, hospital admissions, because there's a huge burden on the system. But you know what? Mental health skills and a project like this is not actually for mental health, um, teenagers that are struggling. It's actually for everyone. And it's even from healthy, healthy teens, because we are all going to go through life. Life will happen. We're all going to go through stages where, you know, it's difficult, the ups and downs of life. And if you learn these skills and start to incorporate it into your daily routine, you will just have them to fall back on, right? I
Yeah.
think that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm beginning to just spread the word, to get everyone to start thinking about this, but to get teenagers as well. I'm hoping to get into schools, and parents. I see how helpless they feel sometimes. They're
Yeah.
like, what can I do? And this hopefully will help them as well, right? What are your thoughts on
I just
this,
read
Paul?
today, just today, Amy, that 20,000 people per month are off work because of mental health issues.
Yeah,
20,000 per month.
yeah. And
And
there's a huge percentage of them that the signs, it actually starts in childhood.
right.
So it actually starts early. So if we start to spread the word and start to have these discussions and raise the awareness of things that we can do to stay healthy, I think that will go a long way, you know.
Yeah.
I fall back on this example a lot. Why do we dedicate an hour every week to physical health, PE in school, and do nothing about mental health.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
equally or maybe even more
Yeah.
important.
Well, interesting enough, I call myself a mindset coach because really everything starts in the mind. So whether you're after success or simply after fulfillment, and you just want to be happy with yourself, which is good mental health. If you're happy, you're winning. End of story. And I think everyone on the planet is driven to be happy, whether they're
Yes.
trying to make £1 million because they think that'll make them happy, or let's say kids at school trying to wear big branded clothes and want to get this, that, and the other because they think it'll make them cool. That's all health in the mind. So mindset is really, really important. And if we can understand how important the mind is, that's really what we should be doing. You're talking about PE, physical exercise. It should be mind exercise. And once you realize
Yes.
that the mind, whatever you're thinking, is going to then set off all these chemicals that will go into your body, and they'll either make you feel happy or unhappy. And if you are feeling unhappy, if you are feeling anxiety, if you are feeling, I'm even going to go far as saying depressed, then a lot of this will be down to the fact that what you're thinking is setting yourself up for these failures in your head. So
Yes.
if you start, I can't do this, or somebody doesn't love me, that's where it all begins. It sends the chemicals into your body, and so now you've got the emotions to back up the way you're thinking, and so it just goes down and down
Yes.
and down and down. And so we've all heard about positive thinking, and I think it's a bit of a cliche these days. But the fact is, if you can think in a positive way, and there's more and more scientific evidence to prove this, but the more positive you can think, the more positive you feel, and the more resilient you become, so that you can come. Even I, and I've been doing stuff for many decades. I can still have a bad day. I'll give you a good example just to show you how simple this stuff is. Out for Mother's Day, and when we get to the restaurant, they said, "We're so busy. Can you go to the bar to order your own drinks, please?" Well, that set me off right away. What? Why would it? It's just what I'm thinking. That annoyed me. That's not service. And so I started setting up all these failures in my head. And then when I got to the bar to order the drinks, people are clamoring over each other to get the orders. And
Wow.
so people behind the bar are just saying, "Who's next?" And I'm like trying to be nice and polite, go, "I am." And other people aren't being so polite, and they're just pushing in. So I can just feel all these triggers going off, and it's about to ruin my day. And it's all because of what I do. I know it's just the way I'm thinking. And so you can take a
Mm.
few deep breaths, and you can just recognize the way you're thinking and go, I'm going to set myself up for failure today. I'm going to ruin Mother's Day, and we're all meant to be out having a great time. So I can just chill out. Once you recognize that your thoughts are that powerful, you can change your life.
Wow. I love that story so much.
Just have, and I know what's going on. And so I promise you, it doesn't matter, even if you're a Zen monk, I'm sure they have days when they wobble. We call it
Yeah.
the wobble. There will be people that wobble, but we bounce back much faster because we recognize what's going on. We understand that everything, the way we think, the way we feel, is all because of what we're doing. It's nobody else's fault. It's always inside here. And that is probably the most
Yes.
powerful thing that any of your listeners, any of the teenagers listening, I call it mind mastery and emotional management. And once you can master that mind, and it isn't the fact that you only think positive, you only think good, that's not the mastery because we're humans. We're going to fail now and again. The mastery is recognizing it so you can stop and get yourself back on track. And here you go, just to
Mm.
that story a little bit further. If you are starting your own company, you're inventing something. Steve Jobs comes to mind immediately, the guy that invented the iPhone and the iPad, things of that nature. He wanted this device that had no buttons on it whatsoever, and his team kept coming back, going, "It's impossible, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it." But he had a dream, and he said, "We will do it," and he wouldn't stop. Eventually, the iPhone came out with one button on the front. But today, no buttons. So he got there. And so ultimately, that's because of his mind mastery. He's no longer with us, but his mind mastery. He knew what he wanted, and he just kept moving toward it, moving toward it, moving toward it. And here's the real key to success. You're never going to get perfection. I don't expect perfection of myself, even though this is the type of work
Mm.
that I do and I'm embedded in and I'm surrounded by it day in and day out. The key to success is just to have as much fun as you can on your journey to creating what you want. So if you're inventing an
Mm.
iPhone, then enjoy that journey. If you're inventing yourself, you're creating a relationship, you're starting a career, you're whatever it might be, just enjoy every
Mm,
day and move towards your goals. Then you're going to be happy and you
yeah.
win, win, win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think for teenagers who may be listening, this is a really important point that I want to make, that it's in your hands to decide if you're gonna have a bad day or not, because it boils down to the story you just told.
Yeah.
You can you can pretty much see read the writing on the wall, but
Well,
decide
here's the thing you
no.
usually hear. They say, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. So and so was rude to me, or so and so took my phone, or so and so it got confiscated while I was at school. And so that's put me in a bad mood. But the recognition has got to be that it's the way
Yes.
you're thinking about it, your perception of it, that's creating those chemicals that's making you feel that way. So it is your thoughts. And it's really tough. When I
Mm,
first start working with clients, I tell them that they have to become 100% responsible for the results in their life. And as I get to work with them longer and longer, and I get to know them on a better level, a much higher level, then I make it clear to them that actually they're responsible for everything in their life. And that's a hard
mm,
pill to swallow at first, because you're like, it
yes.
was not my fault, and this happened and that happened, and the bills have gone up, and or I got made redundant, and it's tough, and I understand that. So I always start by saying you're responsible for your results. And once you can get your head around that, and you start understanding that philosophy, then you can embrace it to an even higher level, and you are in control of your life. Makes a big difference.
Wow. Wow, that's so true, so true. So today we're going to talk about breath work,
Yeah.
mindfulness, affirmations, all of that good, juicy stuff. But before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to Paul because, I mean, I just have to say, this is the second time we're doing this, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
you know, just another story of how things happen. I somehow deleted the first recording. Can you imagine? And I pretty much also had a choice to make. Was I gonna have a meltdown and have a bad night, or
There you go.
was I
Yeah.
gonna find a way to keep going? And I decided to kindly to see if Paul will kindly do this again, and he said yes. So thank you so much. Thank
No
you
problem. No
for
big deal.
doing this. Thank you so much. Okay, so mindfulness, breath work. Um, Tell us about that. Why is
Okay.
it important? Why is that
These are
something?
three really, really big tools, which I think most people probably think they can't connect with, or have tried and think that they've failed. So the three tools that I talk about, and I do a podcast called My Mind Matters, and basically the three tools that work really, really well together are breath work, which is the easiest, and I'm a huge fan of it. I think most people will be able to understand this. When you're panicked, you're probably breathing very heavily, very quickly, and you might even be running to get away from danger. So your heart's beating, and so your physiology changes dramatically. When you're calm, you tend to breathe very slowly and deeply, and you're sending signals out to the rest of your body that you're in a calm, relaxed place. And that's when it's a lot easier to become creative. If you've got writer's block or
Mm,
anything of that nature, and you're thinking, I just can't do this, just can't do this, you start to get yourself wound up. And what you got to do is calm down, just calm everything down, and then you'll find that you can reconnect and everything comes through. Now, the reason I love breath work is you could be at work. A lot of the adults I work with, and for teenagers, this could easily be at school. If you know you're getting wound up, it could be somebody else that's trying to wind you up. It could just be a teacher annoying you. It might be something that's been going on at home and it stayed with you. The partner's upset you, boyfriend, girlfriend has upset you, all sorts of things. There's so many things it could be. You can literally just be in the classroom and take nice deep breaths and not let anyone know. You can take a deep breath without making the noise. You don't have to go. It's nice to do that. I love doing that. But if you're thinking, I can't do that, I'm at the boardroom, or I can't do that because I'm in the classroom, then just take nice deep breaths in through your nose, let them out through your mouth, and you're telling your body it's okay. Now, if you can do that for a prolonged amount of time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you will start to feel very different. And so when people are really struggling, if they have got issues, And it happens, it happens to adults just as much as the teenagers, and they're worried about work, worried about the bills, worried about all sorts of things. Breath work can really help them connect with themselves,
Mm.
calm themselves down, and they can clear a lot of problems. So breath work's a great starting point, and you can do it anywhere. Meditation, I love meditation too, but meditation, think of it as just being the next step up. And it doesn't mean that it's more
Mm.
difficult or it's harder to do. It's just you need a bit more time. You don't really want to do a meditation in a minute, whereas breathing, you could just do it for a minute and feel different. Meditation, it's nice to close your eyes, sit down, put your hands on your legs, loosen yourself up, and then start with the breath work. But you can use all of five senses to really connect. And so you can do meditation with your eyes open and see things, or you can have your eyes closed and you can be using your ears. You can be using your sense of touch, your sense of taste, your sense of smell. And really, all you're doing is focusing on what's going on right now. So you could be listening to the buzzing sound of the refrigerator. You could be listening to the rain falling on the conservatory roof, something of that nature. And if you have got your eyes open, you could be looking at the sunrise, the sunset. You could be looking at the snow out in the garden. So all of these things, if you just pay attention, deep attention to what's going on around you, you get completely caught up with it. Another great way to do mindfulness is this is drawing. I'm trying to think. Zentangle is very famous now. Zentangle, and you're literally
Mm.
doodling, but you can fill in the spaces with cross hatching or shading,
Oh,
and
is
the
it
whole
like color by number?
kind of. But you just need a pen, and so you could just do a letter. Let's say A B. So you want to do a letter E, so you draw an open letter E, and then you start to fill it in, and you could do little dots in some parts, cross hatch in some parts. But the key here is that you get so focused on filling the drawing in, filling the letter E in, that you lose all touch with time and you're not listening to anything else that's going on around you. Your entire focus is on that little bit of artwork that you're doing. And so if you've got a hobby you love, or here now is a great one, pets, your pet cat is sat in your lap and you're just listening to it purr and you feel the vibration of it purring and you're focused completely and utterly on your cat or your dog or whatever your pet might be. So if you can zone out, or really you're zoning in to something in
Mm.
particular, that can really help you calm down. And often when we talk about meditation, which we'll go onto next, which is the next level up, and there is mindful meditation. But when you get into meditation, again, people think that's really difficult because they talk about stopping the mind. You will never, ever stop the mind. Never.
True.
All
Mm.
of us, every one of us is surrounded, we're in a sea of thought. And so if you're trying to stop those thoughts, it will never happen. I promise you, close your eyes, you can take some nice deep breaths and you can start to focus. There's all sorts of ways that we can do meditation, but ultimately people think they're trying to stop their mind from working. It will never
Mm.
happen. And you might be a minute in, 2 minutes in, and you're thinking, I haven't put the dinner on yet, or I've got to go and get the kids in half an hour. I should have put butter on the shopping list. That's the way life works. And you just
Mm.
recognize it and you bring your attention back. You recognize it and you bring your attention back. But all three of those tools, breath work, mindfulness, and meditation, really they all start with the breathing. And that's because
Yeah.
breathing is such a nice deep breath will calm your body down. It will literally tell your body, send a message out around the body that everything is okay. And so if
Mm.
you're thinking, oh, I can't do mindfulness, or it doesn't sound hip or cool enough for you, or meditation is ridiculous, that's just for monks, that's just for these hippie kind of people, that's for these people that go out into the jungle and or sit on the top of a hill or on top of a mountain. Wrong. Anyone can do it, and you can literally learn to do it anywhere. But if the term meditation, the term mindfulness doesn't excite you, just learn to breathe. Now, this should be a clue to how important breath is. So we can go a few days actually without water, but we can only go for maybe a minute without breathing. So it's really, really key to life. Breathing. And I love to think of when you breathe in and you fill your lungs up, this is the stuff we can't see. Look, we think there's nothing here, right? There's nothing here. But actually, they call this the ether and it's filled with all
Mm.
sorts of goodies. And when you take a
Yeah.
deep breath, you're not just filling your lungs up to stay alive, Deep breath, good breath. If you get on a treadmill and go running, or you like to go out and go for a jog, go faster, walking, all of these sorts of things, they will literally help to detox your body. So getting
Mm.
all of that oxygen moving around your body isn't just now calming down your mind and calming the body down, you're detoxing as well. So if any of this is like new to you, thinking, really? Google it, and you realize just how important breath is. It's amazing, and it's so easy to do. We do it normally, and people think, well, I breathe anyway. So let's call it conscious breathing. That's really what we're
Yes,
talking about.
I love
Conscious
that word.
breathing. And so there is a different technique. Deep. If we all breathe deeply all day long, took a nice deep breath in all the time, we'd feel so much better. But we don't. And most of us, which especially if you're at work, or maybe true for school as well, if you feel tense at school because of maybe your colleagues, other classmates, or because of the teachers, or because you find a particular subject boring, or you find another subject really difficult and challenging, then you might be in a state of tension all day long. You might feel like you're a loser because you can't do this sort of thing. There's all sorts of things that we put in our head. And here's the truth. This is so important. We're back to the mind now.
Mm.
These are just illusions. These are just stories that we're telling ourselves. And the vast majority of time, you can prove to yourself that they're just stories. They're rubbish. They're not true at all. And the moment my clients get to realize that, it's not just me telling them it's a story. It's not just me telling them it's not true. They've got to come to that realization themselves. But once they can see that actually, yeah, it's just rubbish. I'm just telling myself that it's not true at all, or it's something I've believed for many years, or it's something that my mum told me, or my dad told me. Obviously, as you get older, these sorts of things, what adults hold on to, or a teacher told them, or they got fired from their job and they're told they were useless and they've stayed with them ever since, or they got divorced and that stayed with them. These are just stories they're telling themselves, and if they can release
Yes.
all of these stories, life gets easier and easier and easier.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. Can we actually just take a minute or two and do some breath work? Because I like the practical aspect of it as well. If you're not sure what to do exactly, let's show them how to do it.
Yeah, great. I'm
Yeah.
totally up for it. I'm going to close my eyes. If anyone listening to the podcast, well, obviously I can't see you anyway. The only person I can see is AB. But I'm going to close my eyes anyway. I'm quite comfortable to do that. And I know if you've got your eyes open and you're watching the podcast, you might be like, why have you got your eyes closed? Try to close your own eyes too, and you'll find it's even more powerful. But if you are uncomfortable doing that, keep your eyes open. But it is more powerful if you can close your eyes. So get comfortable. Try to sit upright if you can. I have this. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it. But I have this crazy thing on the back of my chair, and it forces me to sit upright. So that gives me a much better posture. A regular chair, you might slouch. And then put your feet flat on the floor. You can have shoes on, socks on. You can be bare feet, whatever's best for you. And then you want to put the palms of your hands on the top of your legs. And then just take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Feel your lungs filling up with air. And when you're ready, let it out through the mouth. So that's the cycle we're going to follow and start with. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And you do that at your own pace. Just whatever's comfortable for you, and try to put your attention on your breath. So try almost as you've got your eyes closed, imagine the air coming in, filling up your lungs, and try to use your mind's eye to imagine that air then coming out and going back into the ether. So in through the nose, hold on to it for a second, and out through the mouth. If you can't visualize the air coming in and out, if that's a struggle for you, just put your attention on the back of your eyelids. Imagine putting your attention, it's almost like having your eyes open, but you've actually got your eyelids down and you can see the back of your eyelids. You might have sunlight coming into your eyes, you might have a light coming into your eyes, you might be in a dark room, I don't know, but just put your attention on the back of the eyelids or put it onto your breath. So this time I'm going to start counting to try to follow the counts. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hold it in your lungs for 1, 2, 3, and let it out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the same again for 4. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go for 5. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your eyes closed now. Again, keep your attention on the back of your eyelids. I just want to make it clear, if anyone at this very early stage does feel a little dizzy, if you're not accustomed to breathing deeply, that could happen. It generally doesn't at this point. But if that is the case, then just take it easy and don't follow the counts of the numbers. If that's too much air for you, don't follow the counts. You want to ensure that you're comfortable at home. Now, the breathing exercises, you can do this for several minutes. And of course, the more you do that, the longer you do it, for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. I would build up to it personally. So if this is brand new to you, just do a couple of minutes to start with. And then maybe after 2, 3, 4 days, go up to 3 minutes. And then after a few days, go up to 4 minutes. And after a few days, up to 5 minutes. Now, I often go up to an hour of deep breathing. And I can promise you, you just feel like you're in a different world, because you feel so healthy, you feel so happy, you feel so vibrant. And I like to call it a natural high. That's really how it feels to me, because your body is so relaxed and you are so oxygenated. But please don't try to go that far that quickly. Build your way up to it. It's a little bit like going to the gym. So if you went and started lifting giant weights, you'd struggle. But you want to build your way up to it so you get heavier and heavier and heavier. In this case, we go for longer and longer and longer. Now, there's several other things that we can do with the breath work. So that was the most simple thing. We could then move into a little bit of mindfulness, so that as we're doing that breathing and breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, we can now start to imagine various parts of the body relaxing. So I'm going to take you through that very, very, very quickly, so you can see how mindful meditation, this is the combination of the two, mindful meditation is really relaxing. And imagine you could do this first thing in the morning before you go to school, before you go to university. You could do this when you get home. You could do it last thing before you go to bed. You decide. Maybe you need to do this because you're wound up at lunchtime. You decide. And literally it's just a couple of minutes. So let's breathe again, in through the nose. Hold on to it. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Hold on to it. And out through the mouth. And now, before we take that next breath, just put a little smile on your face, because as you smile, those muscles now tell your brain that you're happy, and that will start to release happy chemicals. So a smile is so, so powerful. Around 40 muscles in your face moving, and that's sending signals, information to the brain, say, we're in a good place. And that will let the rest of your body know we're quite happy. So now, as we continue breathing at your own pace, in through the nose and out through the mouth, I want you just to imagine a little ball of light, almost like a miniature sunshine, about the size of a golf ball or a ping pong ball, something of that nature. And just imagine that sitting in front of your eyelids, about 4, 5, even 6 inches in front of your eyes. And it's a little sun, it's a miniature sunshine, and you can feel the heat from that little sunshine. You can feel it on your eyelids. And it's really relaxing. You can feel the brightness, all that sunshine coming off that little sun. You can feel the radiant heat on your eyelids. That's really relaxing. Now imagine that light starts to build up pools of light just on those eyelids. So the well of your eye now starts filling up with this gorgeous liquid light. It might be a white light, might be a golden light. You decide what's best for you. Now imagine that light starting to penetrate the eyelids and make its way around the eyeballs, really relaxing. It's just light going around the eyeballs, round and round it goes, really relaxing. Now take that energy up over the bridge of the nose, up onto the forehead. Now imagine that light going to the left and the right of your forehead. And for a moment, imagine that light massaging your forehead. If you've ever been for a massage, and maybe you've had a facial massage, you know what it's like when they're massaging your forehead. If you need to, if you've never done that, you can even bring your hands up to your forehead and massage it so you can imagine what that feels like. This is just the light doing all the work. It's restful, it's relaxing, it's loving, it's calming, it feels really good. And take that light up beyond the forehead, up onto the top of the head now, up onto the crown, right to the very top of the head. And now imagine it coming down the other side of the head, the back of the head, coming down past the ears, down towards the back of the neck. And now just imagine for a moment that your entire head is enveloped in this gorgeous white or golden light, massaging your head, relaxing your head. And then we'll go down to the shoulders and stop. But we ordinarily would do the entire body, a full body massage, or a body scan is what we call it. But let's take that light now down onto the shoulders and imagine it on your left and right shoulder, and that light just penetrating the skin. It's warm, it's loving, it's calming, it's relaxing, and you can feel your shoulders dropping down as you rest and relax. Now that your entire head and your shoulders are covered in this light, I just want you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, and let it out for 1, 2, 3. Let's go for 4. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for a moment, I'm going to stop talking, and I just want you to breathe at your own pace and enjoy how relaxed you feel, how calm everything is. And again, if your mind starts to wander and you start thinking about somebody else, something else, you can hear the TV in a room next door. Don't worry about it. Just bring your attention back to your eyelids, the back of your eyelids, as soon as you can. So just give you a moment to really enjoy this peace and quiet. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So it's just a very, very easy way of easing into it. And again, you've got to feel in there what the breath work can do. If your clients, maybe, are already feeling rested or relaxed or very calm, then they're starting to feel the benefits of this. And this is just perhaps the very first time they've done it. And with practice, and it is called a practice for that reason, if you can do this on a daily basis, and it's hard when you first start, you forget, oh, I didn't do it today, I didn't do it today. Try to put a post-it somewhere, try and get up 15 minutes early and just do that for a few minutes every day until it becomes a habit, and it just gets easier and easier and easier. And the minute you feel yourself getting wound up or annoyed, then you just know, I've got to get myself somewhere so I can take a few deep breaths, and you can relax yourself very quickly and easily. How do you feel?
Yes. I feel amazing, Paul. I really do. I
I've
feel
nodded off
relaxed.
doing that. I have literally, when I do the podcast, it goes for about an hour because I do the breathing, then I do the mindfulness, and then I do the meditation. And I've literally found myself nod off and whoa, my head drops and whoa, because I've been so relaxed. True story.
Yes, yes. No, I've enjoyed this for quite a while, and I've begun to realize how relaxing this can get really quickly because most times when I go for choir practice, we start with warm ups, and the warm ups are breathing exercises. And I started to realize, well, actually, I always feel different after I just take deep breaths in. And I
Yeah.
started to actually realize, actually, this works. You know, I think it's a great strategy. It's a great tool to have in your inbox. a way to quickly get you from a place or a state of anxiety, a state of, you know, turmoil, to a
Yeah.
place of relaxation.
Yeah.
And then this gives you the chance to then decide your response. So you're not actually reacting to a situation, you are responding. You're
Correct.
taking that
Really good.
time out
Really
from
good.
a
Yeah.
place of calm, from
Yeah.
a place of peace and relaxation. You then decide what you're going to do about something that's bringing you grief. So I think this is really important. This is really helpful. And I want to
What
say
you've
thank
just
you,
spoken
Paul.
about, AB, I've got a little equation that I can share with everyone. I didn't invent it. I got it from Jack Canfield, who I studied with for 2 years. If you're not sure who Jack is, he did Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And he wrote a great book called The Success Principles. Worth looking him up, Jack Canfield. And he got it from a guy called Bob Resnick, who's a chiropractor, Dr. Bob Resnick in California. But the equation is E plus R equals O. Okay, E as in Edward. Well, I use the correct words. E is events plus R, which is your response, equals O, which is the outcome. So the point of power here is the way that we respond. And I love what reminded me of it is you just talk about reacting. So sometimes when an event happens, most people just react. And generally, a reaction is a default way that we've taught ourselves. We get the default thought, son of a gun, and then that sends the all the
Yes.
chemicals into the body. There's the anger, and now is the reaction, and it can be big,
Yes.
right? And then
The
afterwards, like, oh my
explosion.
god, why did I do that? And now I'm in trouble. Now I've upset somebody,
Now I'm
or
in detention and now
yeah,
I'm grounded.
it can be a right mess. Or something bad came out of your mouth just because they annoyed you and you've got that automatic response. And that's what it is. These are things we've taught ourselves. They're habits, and that's just the way we do it. So it's not my fault. It's just the way I am. It's your fault. It's the way you've taught yourself to be. And you've allowed
Yes.
yourself to be that way. And so really what we're talking about is becoming responsible. But here's why I love the equation. So is the events, they're going to happen. We're not in control of those. We never will be. Stuff's going to come our way whether we like it or not. R is for responses. So we're going to respond rather than react. And the outcomes equals the outcomes. This is the important bit. We determine that. So instead of just reacting and going into a mess, we take a moment. If you can, take a couple of deep breaths if it's really bad and you need to, and think about the outcome. What is the outcome I want? And once you know what the outcome you want is, so how do I respond to get that result? So, if you swear at someone, you're probably not going to get the outcome you want. If you
Mm.
tell somebody where they can go or where they can shove it, probably not going to get the outcome you want. Maybe you are. I don't know what outcome you've decided on.
True.
Maybe you will get the outcome you want. And so ultimately, the point of power is the way you respond. So when I'm
Yeah.
teaching in my classes, my workshops, my retreats, what I get people to do is understand this equation. So if the event is a 2 and you'd like the outcome to be a 10, then your response has got to be an 8. But if it's a seismic event and you're getting a 8 and you know that you want to get to a 10, then you've only got to do a 2 and you're going to get the outcome you want. And then another way, oops, sorry, I just hit my computer. Just to get full context here, let's think
Mm-hmm.
about if you wanted to lose weight, for example, if weight was a thing for you, or you want to get fit. Let's stick with weight first. So say you want to lose, I don't know, half a stone. So you know what the outcome is that you want, and you know what the way you've got to respond is. It could be exercising, it could be eating less, it could be eating healthier. So it's exactly the same idea. The formula works for everything. If you were looking for a job, the event is you want to go and get a job. The outcome is you'll get a job. So how do you respond? You might join LinkedIn. You might start sending out CVs. So it's really, really simple to start to work out how you're going to do this. And it's exactly the same. But what we need to do is engage. That's why my company is called Engage with Success, because what we're doing is engaging with our mind to get the outcomes that we want. And it really
Yeah.
is as simple as that, but it takes practice. And
Yes.
really, I promise you, I gave example earlier just at the weekend where I could feel myself being drawn out. But if you can say, hang on, what results do I want? What's the outcome I want? Then you can respond in the correct way.
Mm, amazing. Thank you so much. And for other people who are still struggling with the idea of meditation, there is one more thing that you could try. So we all know affirmations. We all know what they are, reaffirming yourself, you are beautiful, you are gifted, you are calm, whatever you need to tell yourself. You are strong, right? But actually, I've been learning something recently. You could apply it to something that you are not yet. So,
Yeah.
something I struggle with is being early to events. And I could actually just start saying, I'm never late, I'm always on time, you know? So, if there is something that you're working on, well, why don't you incorporate affirming that idea into your time of meditation, into your time of breath work? You know, if you struggle with being patient and not losing your temper all the time, you could start saying, I'm patient. Do you
Yeah.
have some lovely affirmations that you can that just roll off the tongue for you, Paul?
Yeah, I just will start off by saying that a lot of people, and my clients sometimes resist affirmations, and I am a big fan of them, and I know that they work. But what's worth bearing in mind, if affirmations are new to you or you've tried them and it doesn't work for you, the reason for it is when you first start doing this, you're trying to teach yourself something new. And so if you're, for example, your example, AB, I'm always on time, I'm always on time. Probably when you first start saying that, that won't be true. And so you might still be late. And so you're like, oh, this stuff don't work. This is, blah, blah, blah. This is a load of rubbish. But the fact is, the way the subconscious mind works, and that's what you're trying to
Mm,
access here. And
yes.
I should probably go a little bit deeper. So let me just share this with the audience. The average person, we're getting somewhere between 40 and 60,000 thoughts every day. Okay, all of us, 40 to 60,000 thoughts every day. Now, you probably heard the term we're creatures of habit. And the reason for that is that around 90% of our thoughts, there's 40 to 60,000 thoughts, 90% of those are the same as the day before. And so what
Wow.
we do is find ourselves repeating the same old, same old, same old. Probably, if you haven't heard of this, is an old movie now, but Groundhog Day, great film. And you can see that the guy just keeps going through the same thing every day. It's the same thing every day, the same thing every day. Groundhog Day is quite a famous term. And that's because most of us get up at the same time, have the same sort of breakfast, get in the car or get on the bus or get on the train and go to school, go to work, go to uni, whatever it may be. And same, then we get home at the same time every night. Then we have our dinner, then we watch a bit of telly, then we go to bed. And it's the same old, same old, same old. And what we're actually doing is teaching ourselves, this is how I live, this is how I live, this is how I live. And so you become what you're teaching yourself. But you don't have to. Teach yourself something different. And that's really what
Mm,
affirmations are about. They're the start, just the start of something different. And so the key to accessing that subconscious mind is what you're doing with your daily life. It's repetition. So when you do something every day, day in and day out, and day in and day out, it becomes a habit. Sometimes people
mm,
say it takes 30 days to become a habit. I'm a big fan of saying 90 days. If you can do
yeah.
something for 90 days, you're going to start making that a habit. 30 days is a great start, but people go on a diet for 30 days and they lose the weight. They're all excited, and then next thing you know, the weight's coming back. Oh, that didn't work. And then they try another diet, and then they go back, and then they try another. And that's because the old habits are coming back to them. That's what they've taught their body. That's what they want to do. That's what. So if anyone's dieted, then that could be a reason for it. Or if you tried to do a new habit, maybe tried getting up an hour early for school, half an hour early for school, or going to bed early, and I just can't do it. That's because it's a new habit. And so you've got to persist and do it day in and day out and day in and day out. And I'm sharing all of this because if you want affirmations to work, it's exactly the same philosophy. You have to do them day in and day out and day in and day out. I use my smartphone for mine, actually. So I've got my affirmations on my smartphone. And that way, it doesn't matter where I am. If I've got an early start, sometimes I get up at 6 and I'm off out already, then the phone has got my affirmations in and I can see them. And there are loads of apps. I'm sure you can get some
Yeah.
free apps where you'll be able to get affirmations. You can craft your own affirmations. And so start the affirmations to be about who you want to be. So maybe
Yes.
you're saying, I want to be, I'm on time, I'm on time, I'm on time, or don't say I'm never late. You want it to be in the positive. You want it to be
Yes.
in
Yes.
what you do want.
Mm,
And if you can say I am, that's very powerful as well. So you might be thinking about I am happy. I am happy. One of my favorites is I am the king of no matter what. I am the king of
mm,
no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens, I'm the king. Now, when I was in the pub, this story I shared a little earlier, that's got to come to mind. And I go, whoa, whoa, I'm going to be the king of
I'm
no
a
matter
king.
what. So calm
No
down
matter.
and be
Yeah.
the king of no matter what. And that's really when
Mm,
those affirmations kick in, because you tell yourself, you tell yourself, you tell yourself, and they get deep, deep, deep into the subconscious. And eventually, with time, not immediately, give yourself 90 days of repetition, 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 and you start to move towards those things. And you can literally craft who you want to be. And so
mm,
if you do struggle with thoughts, you know, there's so many things that we can do. Hopefully this podcast has helped a little bit, but certainly bear in mind, one is what you're thinking. So if you're getting upset, you're getting angry, you're getting depressed, ask yourself, what am I thinking? I call it catch yourself thinking, CYT. I tell my clients, put
mm.
it on little post-its all over the house. CYT,
Yes.
CYT, CYT. Catch yourself thinking, what am I thinking? Why am I feeling this way? It's going to be your thoughts. And that's why
Mm.
you're going to be feeling that way, because the thoughts create the chemicals, send the feelings into the body, create those emotions, and here you go. And that can be an up.
Journal, people.
What's that, hun?
Jour I just had to slip that in there. Journal. Journal about
Journaling.
it.
Yeah,
That
journaling,
was
brilliant.
video one.
Yeah.
Why? Catch yourself thinking. Journal about it.
Yeah, journaling, very, very good. Yeah. So there's loads of stuff that you can read. My website, there's lots and lots of free resources on there. That's engagewithsuccess.com. If you go on there, there's a resources button, loads of free things you can do. I even recommend other podcasts. I'm happy to put yours on there, AB. It's the first time that I've
Yes.
worked with you on this, so but I happily add you to
Mm.
that. There are books there, there are movies there, there's lots of inspiration for people, and it's free resources. And of course, if you do need help, feel free to reach out.
Amazing. This has been so good. So, so good. So, any final words for teenagers or parents who may be listening? What do you want to leave them with today?
I think a big key takeaway here is don't take yourself so seriously. You know, life is for fun. I can promise you this. It doesn't matter
Yes.
who I'm. It doesn't matter. I can promise this. Um, Everything we do is because we think it will make us happy. So
Mm.
when you get married, it's because you think it's going to make you happy. And unfortunately, we sometimes think it's because the other person is going to make us happy. Happiness is actually from you. You've got to be happy. If you're happy, chances are they'll be happy with you. But you want to find your happiness. Everything we do, you go and buy a car, go and buy a t-shirt, spend a load of money on a holiday. We do all these things to make ourselves happy. But actually, you don't have to spend a penny, because all of that happiness is in here with these thoughts. And if you're thinking happy thoughts, if you're thinking that I can make this work, I can be this, I can be that, and I really do believe everyone watching, with the work, they can become anything they want, absolutely anything they want. So if they've got a dream to be a singer, to be an architect, to be a doctor, to be a dentist, to be a lawyer, it can be done. And if you go online and look for other people that have already done it, you probably impress yourself, or you will be impressed by other people's stories, and that could be enough to motivate you, to inspire you
Yes.
to go and do the same
Yes.
thing. So just become a resourceful person and find out, have other people done what I've done? Because you poor people have become very, very rich. A really good one to check out, Jeff Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon. Jeff Bezos. Check out his story, because you probably think, oh, smart guy, went to a flash school, loads of money. But read about his mum, read about his dad's, and you'll realize he did not have a privileged background. And he did
Mhm.
really, really well to become what, maybe first or maybe second richest man in the world these days. So, and I promise you, it's not all about the money. I'm just using that as an example because he's a celebrity, and lots of celebrities have come from underprivileged backgrounds, and they've worked really hard. They've followed their passion, they've followed their joy, they've followed their bliss, and they're able to do what they love for a living. That's really the key to success.
Wow. Love this so much. So thank you, Paul.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you so much. This has been amazing. Such good value. Didn't I say that at the start? You're gonna bring such good value. All right then, guys. Um, if you haven't yet, join the Facebook group where you can ask questions and engage and watch, listen to music and yeah, that's the place to be. And I'll see you next time on another episode of the Harmony and Healing Project. Bye for now.